Hello, the community, all the people who are from different countries, maybe from overseas, those who are watching our live on Facebook. We are really excited to see you, and we're really grateful to have this panel discussion. And we're thankful for the willing participants to be a part of this discussion, to explain their backgrounds and the different parishes that they live in and what it is like for them. Also, this is Deaf Awareness Week, so you learned something new. So we look forward to today. Also, the MC, the moderator, will be Zandria Peterson. He'll be asking questions and receiving feedback. Please enjoy today. Before we start to proceed, I will ask Clifton to open in prayer. Hi, good night. I'm excited to see you all here for Deaf Awareness Month. So I'll now proceed in prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, we're really grateful for today. We're grateful for all the participants so that their knowledge can grow. We're glad for the support and the discussion and to learn about us. And we're hoping that it will be full of positivity and no negativity. We have faith and strength in you. A big thank you for allowing this meeting to be efficient. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Hello, 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 hello. Hi, deaf community, deaf, hard of hearing, deaf, blind, everyone who is participating, who has joined this Zoom, and who are watching. Hello, 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 hello. You know that it's Deaf Awareness Month. We have a lot of exciting things happening. You know, deaf power, deafness. It's International Sign Language Day, and their theme is no human should be barred from using their sign language. So for the JSLBT, the Jamaican Sign Language Bible Translation Group, we're living, using it daily. It's a part of who we are. And basically, that's our theme for tonight, discussing what it is like living with sign language. We are excited that you're here today. And my name is Zandria Peterson, and this is my sign name. I'll be the moderator today. I'll facilitate the questions and answers amongst the panelists. Maybe you're curious to know who the panelists are. So now I'll be introducing them individually, and the panelists will tell you their name, who they are, where they're from, etc. And we'll do them one by one. So, panelists, panelist one, wait, patiently. Panelist one, we're waiting on Damien. We're not seeing your video. Go ahead, Damien. My name is Damien Campbell. This is my sign name. Thank you. Other panelists, my name is Jordan Bent, and that's my sign name, Jordan Bent. Other panelists, number three, go ahead, Amakeda. Amakeda, go ahead. Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. I'm Amakeda Wallen. I'm from Kingston. I'll be here to share my experience with you, and I hope you all learn something from this panel discussion today. Thank you. And that's Amakeda's sign name. Next panelist, go ahead. Hi, my name is Simona Oliver, and this is my sign name. This is my sign name, SO, and I'm from Clarendon. Clarendon. Nice, thank you, Simona Oliver. Thank you. Nice to meet you. Next panelist. Good night, everyone. My name is Christine Amelia Civil. That's my sign name. I'm a coder. That's my sign name. Okay, nice. Thank you. Next panelist. Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. Can you see me clearly? Okay. My name is Mr. Ross. I'm from Montego Bay. That's his sign name, Ross? Yes. Are you deaf or hearing? Hearing. I work with the deaf community. Thank you, Mr. Ross. Any other panelists? My name is Odane, Odane Harris. This is my sign name. I'm from St. Anne. I grew up deaf. Nice to meet you all. OH. O at the forehead, H at the chin. Any more panelists? There's one last panelist. Who are you? David? What's his sign name? My name is David Hunter. This is my sign name. DH. DH. Are you deaf or hearing? I'm from country, Portland. Far, 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 far. Yes, far. Are you deaf or hearing? Deaf. I'm deaf. I'm deaf. Thank you, panelists. We have 8 panelists, so we're really excited. Now I have some questions. The first question is, if there is an emergency or something chaotic happening, like a hurricane or an earthquake, what is the most priority in terms of access that you would need? Simona? Yes. I need the deaf community to improve on social media. For example, the interpreters must be there, IG, Facebook, WhatsApp, whatever, so that information can be shared, so that we can be more educated, and maybe set up a deaf page blog so that information can be shared than something chaotic happening and we're not aware of the important information that is shared with the wider public. Any more panelists have anything to add? Thank you, Simona. JB, sorry, Countryside or JSO. Where I live, um, the deaf community doesn't get access to information. I think it's important that my parents know that they're different. My mom can, visit her, but my father is not. How will the two of them access information and they're both different? Yes, there are deaf people there. Yes, there's TV there and there's interpreting there, but the box is really small. If there's flooding or, just different information how to protect yourself. Um, if something chaotic is happening, if a hurricane is coming, what to do. Signing, yes, but it's not just JSL. We have country sign as well. So it's important to have pictures along with the signing so that those who use country sign can understand and have access as well. So that they're both equal, that there's equity. I agree with JB. Any other panelists have anything to add? Anything that you think is priority needed if there's an emergency? If there is rain, flooding, like recently what happened, um, how would the deaf community get access? Amakeda, thank you. Also, we have to think about the emergency services that they need to be accessible for the deaf community. So, for example, if rain is falling, we should have a emergency situation. And the person can't call the police or ambulance. They can't call the police. They don't, how do you contact those emergency services? So that needs to be fixed as well. That issue needs to be fixed. How do deaf people get help during an emergency situation? I myself don't know how to answer that question for years, and I've been asking it every time. When they have meetings and they invite the deaf community to uh, be a part of it, I always ask if there's an emergency situation, how do I contact you? They can't answer, so I can't answer. And that's a serious issue. Thank you, Amakeda. Really, Hamilton? Really, for the deaf person to access emergency services, we need to see what's happening, anything that is impacting the country. If it's a serious emergency, maybe they can send SMSs to people's phone. For example, if there is an emergency, they should have an interpreter there so that we can see what's happening and understand what's happening than closed captioning, than having a hard time to understand or comprehend what is being expressed via closed captioning. So having the interpreter is always best for IG or Facebook or social media overall. We can have important government information that is accessible. They should have interpreters once, something is being said. If they don't have, some don't have TV, but they have social media, so they can use social media to access that information. How do you feel about some of the emergency things that are needed? You need information about advertising. Some needs information about how to contact the police. Some need pictures to help to understand for emergency service. So we realize that there's a lot that is still needed for the deaf community to really have full equity and access. JB, Jordan? Yes, what I see everyone saying is good, SMS is good, but you still have to understand my parish, my community, they don't read. It means it's important you should have access via the government needs to know how many deaf people are in the different communities overall and recognize who is literate and who is illiterate. And maybe they should contact someone who can, a family member who can tell them what's happening. Because in my parish, country sign is what is used. And it's just in that community. My community, how many deaf people are there? Maybe if we do a census count how many, and then you would recognize that the sign that is used is not everybody uses Jamaican Sign Language. You have a portion of our country who uses country sign. Plus, you have some who use both JSL and country sign. So I think it's important to have equity for all, access for all. It's not only about Kingston or uptown, but we have to think about the rural areas as well, the areas that are very remote. Some deaf persons who grew up who never had access to school, their survival. how to provide access for them. You have to create ideas to provide access for them. Thank you, Jordan. I think we should move on to the other question. Question two, communication access. Is it readily available? And what technological resources do we need to make it readily available? Yes, Christine. Deaf community can access different media, right? Yes. Technological resources, what resources they can use? Well, with my experience with my father, sometimes for a deaf person to have access, a simple movie, where is the closed caption? My father can watch it, but where is the closed caption? And the interpreter sometimes is the background is a little bit dark. Also, I feel as if it's bad because they're left out. It's not the same experience. They see the action as yes, but the closed captioning would definitely help them to get understanding and access. Also, on the news, there's no closed captioning, no interpreter. Yes, a few times you see an interpreter. It depends on which news, but I recognize the screen is not in the right place. Sometimes it's really small as well, or sometimes you can't see the person who is interpreting, so it makes no sense. It's not accessible. So closed captioning and proper lighting and interpreter access is what's necessary. Thank you, Christine. Anyone else? I'm Akeda. Sometimes the deaf person maybe goes to the hospital or going to university or something. They treat them like an afterthought. Oh, they didn't realize that a deaf person was going there and they don't know what to do. And communication access should be there. They should already know what to do. Now, I have to come with my thought process of bringing an interpreter, paying an interpreter, but that should be provided already. That should be just a base. It should be provided. I think we need to have some technological resources for the deaf, technical resources for the deaf community. Mr. Ross and then Simona Oliver. Okay. Interpreter voice, yes, go ahead. Oh, okay. I'll sign. Not hearing you, Mr. Ross.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
All right, as I was saying, the national support is where I think it's critical. The national support, For example, in the critical areas such as the police or hospitals as we just shared.
Mr. Ross, I'm not
Another,
hearing you clearly.
wow.
Go
All right,
ahead.
let me know if my voice is better here.
Yes, it is.
Can you hear me?
Yes, hearing you better now.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I'm hearing you better now.
Okay, I'm gonna try and see if I
Do the panelists have anything else to add about the technical resources that will be needed for communication access? As I see the good comment and feedback. With the phone, it helps us a lot. It benefits the deaf community. We get to see information fast compared to years ago w- when hearing people would know what's happening and the deaf community be way behind. But now, maybe 1, 2, 3 days later, the deaf community would hear that. But now with technology, we're fully a part of what's happening
One, two,
and we
three
know
days
what's
later, the
happening.
deaf community
And
hear that.
but now with technology, we're fully a part of what's happening. Can you turn off your background, Mr. Ross, please? Some can read and not. Some are not literate, some are literate. So it's important. They can't text the words, the letters, but they can see visual and understand visual stuff. So like emojis or pictures, etc. So I'm suggesting in the future to try and arrange using text, yes, but it's best to use, video notes or video messaging to send information and then add closed captioning so that, sign to closed captioning to sign so that the deaf community don't have to read, but at the same time, the hearing community can access the information. Thank you, Jordan. Mr. Ross wanted to comment. Your camera is flipped side down. Your turn slant. Better? Yes. Wow. I'm not hearing you, Mr. Rossino. No?
can you hear me?
Yes.
There we
But
go.
you have to wait until the interpreter comes up. We'll come back to you, Mr. Ross. Uh, the next question, I just wanted to give a joke or a deaf joke, a famous deaf joke. What do you think a famous deaf joke is? Can you give a famous deaf joke? Jordan? Person in charge, could you spotlight JB, please? Yes, the interpreter has showed up again. Okay. There are some technical issues, so we have to be patient with that. Um, Technical issues can cause some problems sometimes. Yes, I'm okay. Yes, yes. Yes, yes, I'm here. I'm here. I'm here.
Yes.
I remember long ago, also the police and the hospital should have special training of individuals to support persons in the deaf community. That's my experience where people know sign or they work with the deaf, but they're not really professionals. Maybe the hospitals specifically need to make that happen. Yes. Training with the police, the nurse. Eventually their signing will deteriorate or they'll create signs that don't exist or pick up some signs that are just non-existent that will impact the deaf community. There will be miscommunications and misunderstandings. So it'd be nice to have proper training or good technical resources so that the deaf community can access what is being provided. Yes, I support using digital and technological resources, but sometimes you really need a support person. Amakeda, I wanted to add that I'm hoping in the future we can see maybe a AI interpreters. Maybe some people don't like that idea, but give it some thought. Maybe that's something that can happen in the future because right now we have many needs and we don't have enough interpreters for all those needs. Sometimes we have an emergency situation pop up, we go to the hospital and the bank last minute, you can't call an interpreter to come same time. An AI interpreter can help, and I think that's for the future. So I'm hoping to see AI trained in Countryside and JSL in the future. Help the students in universities who needs interpreters and they can't afford it. I think AI can help the deaf community. I think AI can help the deaf community. What do you all think about what Amakeda is saying? Maybe not 100%, but in some situations. AI can't really imitate a person 100%, so maybe not in some situations. Okay, maybe have some AI and some human interpreters. You should have a choice. Maybe I want to go to the doctor, but I don't have an interpreter. Amakeda is adding. AI training will be difficult, but I think it's still a good idea that the deaf person can have a choice. Maybe they go to the doctor or something private and they don't want an interpreter to be there. Meaning a mixture can be 100% AI. Some AI and some real individuals. For privacy, I'd prefer AI, honestly. I think AI is going to be very good right now. You see the AI pictures, you don't know if it's real or false. So I think in the future we will see that in interpreters. Any more to say, Jordan? Jordan? Yes, it's sign language is important. It's different AI and a human person. Why? Humans, rich facial expression, rich nuances. AI is okay, but the facial expressions are very blunt and straight. Deaf people like rich facial expressions. It's a part of the language, body language, so that they understand and can connect with what is being said. The AI's face is very flat. It's okay. They're not, the deaf community is not impressed by that. I think it's best to have human interpreters because the facial expressions and the connection and the understanding, and it's rich and it's the same. We're humans, it's the same. And I prefer that. That's my preference, not AI. When you go to the hospital, Jamaica needs technical resources, because when you go to the hospital, so maybe like a relay services so that the deaf people can have access if they have a problem. So they can have video relay services ready and available than to depend on an interpreter to drive all the way or be all the way there. Yeah, a relay services should be ready and available at the emergency services so that a deaf person can just connect. Yes. Hamilton, go ahead. Talking about AI in the future for right now, it can be immediate. In an emergency right now, maybe we have to use our computer or tablet and our phone, and also um, having the interpreter readily accessible on the phone. One idea is maybe we should get resources like tablets and computers ready. So if a deaf person come, we can just connect to the interpreter and have a conversation right there. Than to delay and wait for the interpreter to show up in the room. Just like VRS in the United States, where they have relay services, they just connect and we're able to have access. The interpreter just comes on and communicates, and that solves the problem. I see your point. Right now, what accesses and resources do we have right now? Yeah, we're dreaming about a future with AI, and but what can we do immediately? And for immediately, and right now, having a video relay services is actually something that can be done. What can be done now? Thank you, thank you. David, we need support and help. We need like, you know, video relay services, interpreters. I think that's the best thing that we could get. Thank you. I think we'll move on to the other question. Education, um, the classrooms. We have already experienced going in that space. What's your dream to see a, a deaf classroom for access, for communication, for education, for culture? What is your vision? What should that classroom look like? I'm Makeda. Thank you. Hope I'm not chatting too much. She said, say it again, please. Hope I'm not chatting too much. No, go ahead. Because I keep putting up my hands. Thank you for that question because I'm a teacher, so I really appreciate that question. In the future, in the close future, I want to see more deaf teachers. Not DCFs, not just deaf culture facilitators, but deaf teachers, deaf principals, deaf counselors. We need that type of role model in the school system. I remember my experience when I became deaf at 11 or 12 and I started high school. That time, there were many hearing teachers, hearing in good positions, and deaf people were just assistants. And I feel like my future, I will become an assistant. I can't do anything. And then when I saw Tashai, and that's the first time I was in shock, a deaf counselor, right? So that made me feel like it's important for deaf children to have positive role models, you know? We also want to see deaf history. Deaf history is not involved in the curriculum. We don't teach deaf children about their history, their sign language history. We're coming from far from oralism, and the children need to learn about that. The children don't appreciate sign language. They don't use, they think it's nothing. But if they learn their history, then they'll be able to appreciate where it's coming from. It's nice that the children benefit, just like hearing people learning about Black history, the different histories, you know, generational history, um, how language evolved. And I think that should be involved in the curriculum as well for the deaf community. Remember, we fought for sign language rights. We fight for it for years, and now the children don't think it's important to use it. Thank you, Amakita. Any more panelists to add? JB and then Hamilton and then Mr. Ross. Go ahead, JB. Spotlight. Go ahead, JB. Amakita, what she was explaining, I really agree. When I was working in the school system 12 years, I had explained, I have suggested it, but I haven't seen any improvements. I recognize that there are different situations in terms of deaf education, but I'd like to see and remember our history. Back in the days, the children will learn water, milk, and then they started to sign the older they get. Maybe by 3, 4, 6, 7, they'd learn to sign efficiently. They'd pick it up. The concept of milk and the age group, if they had shown the picture, the students, and explained the concept, they'll know what to do. They'll know to run, to stop, how long, but they don't understand the linguistic rules, the concepts that were used long ago, the rules, the concepts. To transition from English to Jamaican Sign Language, we need to explain concepts and what Jamaican Sign Language is first before we transition to English. It shouldn't be English first, then Jamaican Sign Language. That is how quality education would be shared. So you teach with JSL first, and then you transition to teaching English as a second language and teaching the English rules. And that is how the deaf community will learn um, English. Recently, Amakeda spoke about deaf people, you know, not becoming police, soldier, doctor. We we want to see important role models and successful deaf people so that the deaf children can see that they can expose them to different successful deaf persons, maybe go to a field trip and learn, encourage them to be involved in different sporting activities, use that time for public education exposure, deaf history, bring people to come and present and just to expose the kids so that they can learn, so it would help them to develop their English literacy skills. And the curriculum would build their knowledge and help them to see more and more. And that is what I want to see in the classroom. Now we're using computers, we have the internet, yes, but does it include the deaf community? Not just Kingston, but what we want it on the entire island, internationally, locally. We want different perspectives so that they can see and know, that, you have deaf people that are doing many different things and they have many different career options. So they just need the exposure to see what's available and so that they know that they can be successful in the future. Yes, you want to see the bilingual approach in the classroom, Jordan. Not just English, but Jamaican Sign Language and English being developed, simultaneously. Bilingualism needs to be a part of the classroom, not only just signing or only just English, but both should be used at the same time so that, you know, they connect the English to the GSL to the English and the English to the GSL. So yes, Jordan, I agree. I want to see the bilingual approach in the classroom. Next, Hamilton. From when I was a young boy, I have to share my experience. Honestly, when I was in Brownstown, St. Christopher's, I didn't understand a lot. And then I moved to CCCD Mandeville, and I saw many students who graduated and left. They have the ability, they don't want to come back to Jamaica and share their experience of what is happening, you know. They go away for college and they don't come back to, share their experience. A few will. Also, they'll come and participate from time to time in the school environment. I think they should come back and encourage and, share their knowledge and educate, you know, the deaf students about what's happening. Also, deaf adults who have experience going to college, they should also encourage the deaf students as well, so that they know that they can, so that they'll use their ability and they won't feel embarrassed about who they are. So the students need encouragement, so that they don't feel like, oh, they can't, or they don't feel depressed, or, they don't feel the experience of autism. So it's important for that to happen as well. We are worth it. Plus, recently, for example, they hear, when the students don't understand, the hearing teacher say, oh, there are ways, there are ways. I think that's wrong. I think it's important for teachers to encourage and empower um the students. If they don't understand, encourage them. Don't allow them to give up. Maybe find a way to help them. And I think we should keep trying and not give up. Don't give up. Keep trying. If you feel like, they're not learning, it's important to be patient and to find support and to find a way to help to encourage the child to continue to develop. Okay, use what you have, quote unquote, use what you have, use the resources that you have. Bring in deaf people, try and find a different way to help. Correct. Thank you. Thank you. Ross, my experience working at CCCD at the CADE project, I still have that dream that I want for Jamaica in the future, for the deaf college, deaf university, with deaf persons represented. So that's a dream that I have for the future to change. and then they'll learn from role models and from the community. Thanks for sharing your dream of wanting to see a deaf university or college. Thank you. That's beautiful. That's our dream too as well. Thank you, Mr. Ross. I see. Okay, can we move on? Chris, Christine. I think it starts from home with the parents. If the parents can sign, if the parents can sign and communicate with the children and socialize with the children and support them, it would be easier for when the child is placed in school with the teacher, and the teacher will teach the student. That's why I agree with Amakeda. You should have deaf teachers in the classroom, in the deaf schools. You should have deaf principals in the deaf schools represented. Nothing is wrong with having deaf representation there. It's their space, it's their environment. So they should have a right to be there and to show. Teachers can sign, students can communicate also. Sometimes with the different subjects, supporting the different subjects in school. The curriculum and the hearing curriculum maybe should be at the same level. Give them a chance to you use the same curriculum. Don't limit them. Give them the opportunity because deaf people can learn. It's easy for them to learn. Thank you, Christine. I was looking for that to show up, that comment to show up. I personally want to see the classroom have the same subjects, the same curriculum. It should be the same. It shouldn't be different. Shouldn't they shouldn't limit the deaf community and the deaf students. That's my dream. I want to see that as well. So thank you for saying that. Thank you. It's really emotional listening to that, the comments. The last question I'm gonna ask you, Jamaica overall, society, Jamaica itself, what do you need to see readily available for everything? For the deaf, for the hard of hearing, for the deaf blind, what do you wish you would see available, readily available everywhere? What do you wish to see? Simona, deaf, um, teach coders. Maybe they want them to be interpreters or whatever profession. Um, there needs to be more development and interpreters available. Other than Tony, there needs to be more coders who are willing to participate. We don't want other only coder interpreters, but other interpreters as well. Correct. Thank you, Simona. I'm Akeda. Want to see Jamaican Sign Language recognized as an official language. I want to see that. You know, Jamaica already has the Disabilities Act, already have it available. Is it enforced? Is it followed? I'm not sure. I want to see the law enforced. I want to see a law that benefits the deaf community, a law that's against discrimination. I want to see that. Also, I want to see more partnership with the deaf community and other disability communities. Not the deaf community, by ourselves, but participate more with the disabled community. Some deaf people have multiple disabilities. Some have ADHD, some have a deaf blind. We need to participate in the disabled community because we're stronger together. Thank you, Amakeda. You want to see Jamaican Sign Language as an official language? You want it on the books? I'm really looking forward to that. That day will be a celebratory day. We can't wait for that to happen. We need it now. Okay, Jordan, and then Hamilton. I agree with Amakeda. I agree with her points, but I want to add another point. Where I'm from, in St. Elizabeth South, there are a lot of farmers, tomato, melon farmers. What what are their jobs? They have their own farmers, they drive and sell at the market. In Kingston, I don't see no deaf person doing that. That's mostly hearing people. So I think the government needs to offer an opportunity for deaf people who own business to sell their produce outside of St. Elizabeth because they work so hard and they have the skills and they know how to market their produce. So I think it's an opportunity that should be given to support so that they can access resources to develop their businesses and expand their farms. I'm encouraging you to advocate, don't stop, but continue advocating. Keep reminding the government that there is a deaf community with and they need resources and help for development, especially the farmers. They need a marketable resources. They need their resources marketed. It would be nice to see deaf people business shared and expanded and their farms, they're able to sell their produce all over the island. Okay. I just wanted to add one more thing. For example, it's not really, for example, driver's license, blue, sorry, color blue, sorry, the blue card. You have the white plates and the blue plates and the red plates and the green plate. There are four different license plates, but the deaf person can only get a white plate. Can't be a taxi, can't get a green plate, can't get a blue plate. A few businesses can get the blue license plate. The red, they don't allow deaf people to get taxis. They can't get taxis. So that's a limit. And the green plate to be able to carry your goods and products, like your melon, your animals. But deaf people are not allowed to have a green license plate to be able to carry their goods because it's not permitted for them to be able to transport. So it limits their prospects in business. So we want the government to recognize and just provide access for all so that they can be equal with their hearing counterparts and there's no limit as to what businesses they can do. I clearly understand. Thank you for explaining. You want to see them have access. I clearly understand. We need the government to recognize that there are some barriers and open those barriers so that the deaf community can have access to expanding their businesses. I understand. Thank you. Okay. Hunt Hamilton and then Ross. I think the deaf community really needs now. Kingston has it, JCPD, JAD, everything is in Kingston. I'm not sure that, there are other organizations, but they're not in Montego Bay or Trelawney or St. Mary or St. Anne. I think if you can't afford to buy land or own land, why not use the school as an office? Set up a small office, CCCD, not Patrick Brownstone, CCCD Mobile, Portland. You have many options, maybe two or three persons to serve the deaf community. Maybe JCPD and JAD can set up in other parishes. Maybe we need support with, security. So you're talking about food, shelter, etc. It's important to be everywhere and not just located in Kingston. That's a good point. I recognize that Kingston has everything, associations, organizations are all located in Kingston. But what about the west, the north, the south, the east? So why aren't there access in other parishes? Why do we have to traverse all the way to Kingston to get access? Um, come all the way here to get access. It's really a lot. It really takes up time. So establishing maybe regional offices in the west, north, south, that's a good idea. Mr. Ross. The organizations that are established, JCPD, JAD, they're really doing more work for the deaf community. They need to do more work for the deaf community. It's like the forgotten community. For example, Tony said most opportunities, Hamilton said most opportunities are in Kingston. If you are outside of Kingston, it's really tough. If you go to JCPD, maybe you won't find any interpreter there. So if it's an organization for disability, it should include all, not some. Thank you for that comment. It shouldn't just be for Kingston and Shane Andrew, but for all. And it should include all. Is does the do, do any more panelists have anything to add? Okay. Does anybody in the deaf community have any open questions? I'll read your comments. Let's say yes, they agree. Use AI interpreter mixed with human. That's it. I think that's all for now. Has to go. I have to leave. Um, yes, I wish to see deaf history and culture. I wish to see deaf history and culture should influence. It should be taught in the deaf schools by the teachers and in the classroom as well. Hearing teachers should learn Jamaican Sign Language to be able to teach the deaf children in the classroom appropriately. Need to be encouraged to learn Jamaican Sign Language. I will only pick three comments. There are a lot of comments coming in. I agree that deaf person needs interested in becoming a teacher, so that they can teach their students. Mm. There are two important things for the deaf community, Hamilton. If you want to work with a deaf school as a hearing person, you have to socialize with deaf people. You can't just come, sign, and go home. Your Jamaican Sign Language won't improve, so you have to participate with the deaf community. You have to do something other than coming in the classroom. You have to involve yourself in sports, everything. You have to be a part of a hearing teacher must do that so that the deaf person can more understand what is being taught. If they're not qualified, what's the point? Are they coming for just money? We want good quality, qualified teachers so that the children will benefit. And the second thing is there's always a delay when it comes to JCPD. Maybe they'll need something now, but they always tell you to wait 1 month, 2 months, and it becomes really frustrating. So I decided to leave them alone and continue. I tried to get a grant for myself, and I decided to just go ahead. Sometimes there are things that need to be done now, and there's always a delay. So sometimes things need to be done now. Thank you, Hamilton, for that. Um, it would be nice to have access readily available and not just, you know, coming back daily and waiting months. It's a waste of time. So yes, it will cause frustration. You want to see access to grants readily available and not delayed. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you to the panelists for being here tonight. Thank you for the conversation. Thank you for your time. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for the deaf community, to the deaf community. Hats off to all of you for being a part of the discussion. Thanks to the coders, the hearing, the deaf community from the rural areas. Thanks to both the males and females, and especially thanks to the interpreter, to Tony and Tasha for doing country sign, and Tony for voicing for everybody. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you to the deaf community for watching. Thank you. Bless you. Good night. Fabian will come up and everyone will go away. Thank you. Bye. Hello, everyone. Yes, 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 yes. Hello, everyone. Really, It was an amazing conversation. It was an amazing discussion, feedback on people's backgrounds, um, thinking about how the deaf community can improve, how our lives can improve. It was a pleasure. Thank you so much. I know the time is way over. I'll ask Clifton to close in prayer. Thank you. Amen. Amen. Okay, bye everybody. Bye.